Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nubraids, and in today's video, I want to give you a little showcase of Gwyndolin the Silent and the build I'm using on her right now for Hydra. She is a fantastic champion. She was a recent guaranteed and is actually in a progressive chance this weekend as well. Now, personally, I'm not doing that progressive chance. I'm probably going to be going for... I'm waiting for some good Void packs because I obviously need to go Kraken mode here and buy Void shards, which I think I will do. Will be the biggest whale out I've ever done to get enough voids for this guy. By far the biggest whale out I've ever done, really. But yeah, I'm not. I don't know. There's not been a good offer yet, so maybe we'll hold out. I do get a little bit worried there won't be any offers, but anyway, we shall see. Let's talk about Gwyndolin first. There's a few different ways you can build this champion, and we've built her sort of specifically for Hydra. So what does she do? Why is she good for Hydra? Well, number one, accuracy aura is quite nice and useful. And we're going to be using her with Inquisitor Shamael, as I like to do. And yeah, you're getting the benefit of the aura, and she's a decent champion to boost up. She's an AoE attack that gives increased accuracy to your whole team, and can also steal block debuffs from enemies. That's quite nice, right? This will help you a bit if the Head of Wrath comes in and he gets up block debuffs. It will help you to strip that off. Or if Head of Mischief steals block debuffs, it will help you to strip that off the enemy as well, which is cool. So that's a nice little bonus. Her A2 is a brilliant move. AoE attack with decreased speed, leech, and decreased accuracy on enemies under 2 or more debuffs. Again, both of these have 3-turn cooldowns. So this is sort of her key draw in Hydra, as she is a decreased speed champion, with the benefit of leech to keep you alive and decreased accuracy, which is huge for keeping you alive as well, avoiding crowd control, avoiding your champions having their buffs and turn meters stolen by mischief as well. Her A1 is solid to each hit a 30 booking to 50% chance to extend the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. So really, really nice. Her passive is insane as well. She gets bonus crit damage for every point of accuracy they have. Nice synergy with the increased accuracy and the accuracy aura. And gives her an extra turn after using any 3 skills. This does include her A1. So she will be flying through her turns really quickly. She is one of the most consistent decreased speed champs in the game for Hydra. And yeah, in terms of build, you could absolutely run her. I think in Affinity Breaker could be pretty good if you want her to be as consistent decreased speed as possible. What I'm doing for her is running her in the Provoke set, and she's going to be one of 2 Provokers in the team. Yeah, she's going to be boosted by Shamael. It's going to work well because she's got all these AoEs with extra turn mechanic as well. She should be fairly consistent at providing us provokes, which should be, yeah, quite good. So that's what we've done. On top of that, we've tried to build her with damage. We're slightly short on crit rate. We've got her at 5,000 attack. She's got no blessings, guys, but we do have some faction guardians. So she is low on HP. She's squishy. Again, blessings would really help with this. Like, she's super squishy, to be fair. 247 speed, so she's good and quick. And she does have really high accuracy, 400. Now, this is obviously more than we need. We're going to be running her today on Brutal Hydra. This is more than we need. Yeah, again, I think another really good area, let me just tell you right now, another great place to run her could be for Fire Knight Hard, where she comes in with a triple hit A1 to take down the shield, and she brings you that decreased speed. That's good. And then with the AoE, she can control the waves. So it's not something I've done, but this is definitely something that we might revisit in the future with Gwyndolin. I think it could work really well. Today we're going to focus on just the Hydra team. I do have her with a Blood Shield accessory to try keep her alive. That's not essential, of course. It could potentially be bad. She could be targeted by mischief, but seeing as we're going to boost her with Shamael, it should be fine. We're giving her War Master because she's firing off AoEs like nobody's business. And yeah, just make her debuffs last longer. I don't think Sniper works, but I gave it to her anyway. There's honestly not much else that's worthwhile. I mean, you could give her Lasting Gifts, but honestly, she's going to keep increased accuracy up in your whole team pretty much the whole time anyway. So I didn't feel like that really mattered. Let's jump in to the Hydra. Let's go. One thing I'm excited for is I've finally got Sifi in 9-piece protection. So the Sifi team is really going to be mixing up. It's going to get stronger. And I think I'll probably put in Lady Mikage instead of maybe Newt. Place Newt with Mikage. I'm not sure exactly what. We'll figure something out. But anyway, that's something for the future right now. But this is the team. So a fairly straightforward team. Krisk is obviously hard to get. And yeah, we're doing a couple of fun things here. So in a perfect world, you would have your Krisk in a cursed set. Unfortunately, I don't have good cursed gear, so I'm not able to do that. We're going to use a Volcanen instead. Volcanen comes in with Hexa Blades. So it's AoE, right? And it does single target damage. This actually hits pretty hard on Hydra. He actually puts out Hex as well, great. And he does more damage for every debuff on each enemy. This is a really nice, I think he just has a lot of great synergies with Gwyndolin. So these are two recent guarantees. I think they combo very well together. So Gwyndolin number 1, with the increased accuracy and the accuracy aura, is going to give Volcanen enough accuracy to land his Hex. And he also has debuff extension and debuff spread. It will let him do that on higher difficulties of Hydra, which otherwise he might not be able to do, because you probably want to see, you can see I've built Volcanen fast with lots of crit damage and attack. Again, he has no blessings either, sadly. But this build is going to be good as well in Arena. Like, we picked him in Live Arena the other day, and it works well. He's more so as a block revive champ in Live Arena. But he works well there against like a Wukong if they've got no ultimate Death Knight to protect him, or anyone like that. He can just smash any tanky revivers. Anyway, we're beside the point. You can see him a bit in action in the previous video. But yeah, they're a good combo. They are a good combo. In theory, with this team, if we got Krisk into Cursed, we could use anyone. I was actually thinking Turvold would be perfect. I really want to get back to using my Turvold. Turvold brings a weaken on his A1. We do have weaken from Arbiter. But yeah, again, Turvold is another low accuracy, but he's got a debuff you want to use. He's got really high damage too. So yeah, something like that. Any big damage dealer. Krisk is there to mischief tank and protect, and he is our other provoker. Arbiter brings increased attack for Gwyndolin, Volcanen, and Shamael. We've got a Shamael to do damage and protect us from the fears. Then Ugo is our decreased defense champ. That's how it works. Pretty simple. I mean, let's dive in and let's see the start of it. There can be some randomness for sure in terms of, oh, do we actually land the provoke set? That's where you will see some randomness with Gwyndolin, but for the most part, it should work fine. So we get our decreased defense and block buffs. Then I actually make Gwyndolin open with her A2 because I want to get the decreased speed out on these heads as soon as possible and start trying to control them. We actually, with the shield from Volcanen and a decreased resistance, that's fun. Sadly, we've got no renewable shields on this team for Volcanen. I mean, maybe we could give him a blood shield at some point. Yeah, hopefully now at this point, Krisk will start mischief tanking. And yeah, we should start flying through our turns. You can see we've got the increased accuracy on. I think we've already extended debuffs with Volcanen's A1. We should see this is the moment of truth. Here we go. She's actually gone in on this head. Great. And extended all of his debuffs and straight into an extra turn. And actually did land the provoke there and got the decreased speed back out. So this is sort of what this champion does. That's so good. Her damage isn't going to be crazy. We've not built her in a damage set. And she doesn't hit super hard anyway. I guess the way I sort of look at her is she's sort of like a decreased speed Razzlevarg, but with more utility and less damage. Sort of how I feel about it. Like Razzlevarg will do he'll do a lot more damage than her. But she can be really good. I'd say if you were building your pure damage, you know, maybe just the Rathalos set might be the way to go. But yeah, again, you can see between her and Krisk, and we've got turn meter boosting from the Arbiter as well, we are actually able to, with a little bit of luck, lock this head down the whole time. You see her A1, she's got increased attack. She's not doing too much damage to this guy. You know, he doesn't have decreased defense or anything, but still not doing too much. Shamael, hitting hard. Got a decent hit from him. Now we've got decreased defense on. Now we should do better damage. Like 82k on her AoE. Again, nothing too special. 250 on Shamael's A1. Now we've got 380 on Volcanen's. We should get some more hits. She goes in with the A1. Some weak hits. 70k. So we're looking at about, you know, 200,000 on her A1 against a decapitated head. It's bad affinity, but still, it's nothing amazing. Not terrible, not amazing. Let's see. We don't have a weaken, unfortunately, Arbiter. Oh, no. Here it goes. Weaken. Hey, we got a weaken. Maybe Volcanen will actually land. Yes, Hex of Blades. Bam. And that's where this team kind of works well. We've actually jumped up now to like roughly 1 million damage per turn. The Hex of Blades from Volcanen can hit really, really hard. And that damage scales off of the number of debuffs. It scales really well when heads are decapitated. Yeah, it's you know, it's decent, right? It is decent. I wonder, like, could we bring in like Rathalos instead? Let's say we had a curse set on Krisk. Bring in curse set on Krisk, then we wouldn't need the Hex. We could bring in Rathalos. We need a HP burn. That becomes difficult to get in there. Like, yeah, that becomes quite difficult. Maybe you could switch out. No, I don't know. You couldn't switch out anyone. You'd have to do something quite different. You'd have to build a different team entirely at that point. But yeah, again, you can see this is on brutal. It should run like this fairly consistently. I'll pause it. We'll come back when the fear head comes in and we can see how Gwyndolin does with the fear head for a little bit. But let's let it run through and see what damage it does. And yeah, I left it full auto last week and it did really well. Probably won't do as well this week. Let's see. Let's just see what happens. Okay, we actually had the fear head spawn in, so we're basically straight back in. Let's see how we go. So the fear head will be a pretty big damage increase to us. It's going to let Gwyndolin just rip through her turns. And yeah, we'll see how she does. So let's go. Here we go. Actually killed off head. So this is actually pretty great. Like we should get some pretty good damage here when we've got a decapitated head. Plus the fear head is when it's going to help us a good bit. One thing that works really well with her. Let's see. Does she get an extra turn right now or not? Yeah, she does. Great. Brilliant. One thing I love about her, we got an unlucky resist there, just at 3% with the decreased speed. Because she does have that extra turn stuff, it's actually really nice when you've got these heads that are respawning, right? Getting debuffs onto those heads can be kind of tricky. Her being so quick at applying decreased speed, that actually works really to your advantage. I find it really good that it's like, yeah, when a head spawns in, with the extra turns, and especially when she's getting boosted up, she can be very, very consistent at getting decreased speed up in a timely manner, and that can let you, you know what, let's target that. No, let's not target. Let's leave it full auto. Let's leave it properly full auto here. So I think that's what we'll do for this run. I won't target anything. And we got a really solid score last week. Probably we won't get as well. I think that there's a lot of luck if we leave it pure full auto. But hey, let's leave it and give you a fair. I think we got probably close to the max full auto damage last time. We can give you a fair comparison. Luckily, they're mostly attacking that head, so that's cool. Love the debuff extension, by the way, against the head of Suffering, because he can take extra turns. We're getting a few hits in on Mischief anyway. Quite good for us. Go, and great. Volcanen is out. Increase accuracy is back on. And certainly, if you're building a team around her specifically, you could absolutely... you don't need her in the lead or boosted by Shamail, but you could absolutely build a team around her increase accuracy because she is consistent enough. And certainly if you've got a buff extender like Krisk or Lady Mikage would be good with this champion as well. Anything like that, you can definitely build around it. But yeah, this gives you a bit of an idea of how she's doing. Basically, she's really ripping through the turns. She takes so many turns, just kind of non-stop popping off. Yeah, let me let this one run out full auto. We'll just leave it be, and we'll see what score we get at the end. So I will be right back. One extra thing to look at, we're going to see when the Head of Wrath does his next attack, right? That is so good here. Oh, we've actually decapitated loads of... Oh, hello. This should be good damage. I haven't been paying attention as to whether or not we've got Hexa Blades coming up soon. This would be a good opportunity, and we're certainly hoping for her to land her debuffs first. Hopefully she gets the extra turn. But we're really waiting for Head of Wrath here. No extra turn. Cursed. Just when we want it, it doesn't happen. Head of Wrath comes in, and look at this. We did get one decreased attack comes through, and that sucks, because that's going to really lower his damage a lot. Like, a hell of a lot. Oh, he's going to do, like, half damage. No! That would have been so much damage if not for that. Ruined it. But what I was going to say, and it almost worked out, we could see the resists everywhere else, right? Do not underestimate the value of decreased accuracy in Hydra. Like, reducing... We'll see it now here against the Poison Head as well, hopefully. She should hopefully get around to her move on time. Certainly we should have time. He's going to do Poison Cloud first anyway. Oh, there we go. Decrease accuracy is on. Great. But yeah, the decrease accuracy, it's so nice. The Head of Wrath puts out decreased attack every single time. Unfortunately, you can see I don't have enough, clearly, resistance on Volcanen. But even without building resistance on anybody else, they're resisting just fine. Like, she's resisting him. Jamail's resisting. Volcanen, we should actually probably up our Great Hall resistance a bit more, or like give him an amulet with resistance or something. And that would probably actually be a pretty big damage increase, because without having to build very much resistance at all, because she's putting out the decreased accuracy, should be pretty good at reducing it and all that. Let's see. We should see this head come in and try to fear us now as well. Not fear us, to poison. Let's see. Bam. Look at that. Just a wall of resists, right? 2 poisons went through total. That is just Supremely useful, incredibly useful, because like this is a pretty squishy team, right? She is not tanky. Volcanen is not tanky. You saw both their stats there. They're very squishy. Um, but there we go. A provoke actually went through that time. A little bit unlucky, but yeah, they're both super squishy. Being able to mitigate that poison damage is huge, actually for Arbiter in particular, because she's in like a speed build for Arena. She doesn't really have self healing. Yeah, it makes the team super sustainable. And yeah, reducing the decreased attack. Again, you can resist the heal reduction from Head of Decay. We'll see, we might resist it. I'm not sure who it's going to go on. Do one thing. We'll take it off auto briefly just to show you one fun thing that you can do as well with this type of team. Smack that for damage. With Volcanen, like we can actually kill her, which gives us weaken, which is nice. And also we'll jump the timer over to somebody else. So that's kind of cool. You just need to be careful with your revives, but it is something you can do. That's a little bit of a spicy strategy. And we'll see. Volcanen, he doesn't hit crazy hard. I mean, let's hit this head, I guess. Gonna hit just like 300k. Like, it doesn't do that much damage. I think it hits Head of Wrath the hardest because he's got the most attack. I think he steals their attack multiplier. But yeah, hits really hard in Arena. Will basically one-shot anything in Arena, but it doesn't hit very hard for Hydra. But that's a sneaky little thing you can do if you want to manual. Again, I usually don't bother with Volcanen because it's a lot of hassle, but it's totally something you can do, and it will like prolong your run a bit. Now, again, the Devour timer is going to keep ticking down. It's not going to last forever, but it is a cool idea. This is pretty good for us. We actually got decreased speed on this head straight away and weaken, so that's nice. If we can get a decreased defense and maybe cycle back to Volcanen, that should be a pretty big hit right here, which is cool. And again, the Hex is going to be duplicating that damage. Yeah, this is great. Let's see this. We might get provoked by this head. I can't remember if you can resist that or not. She actually... Oh, we don't have decreased accuracy on. So we're not going to resist it, are we? Slightly unlucky. We might still get through, though. We will get provoked. Again, with her passive, if she procs her extra turn, she'll just proc the extra turn. So that's kind of nice. Let's see what happens here. Pop his thing right there. Cool. Yeah, she gets the extra turn. She's like, all right, cool. Now we'll put out decrease accuracy. Now we'll go. I want to see Volcanen land a big hit on this head. He has increased attack. He's got it all. Again, the poison's mostly resisted. Does lower Shamail's damage. Also lowers his animations, which is kind of nice as well. Big Hexa Blades, and there's a 1 million hit. That's not too bad. And we were fell behind on the damage. We're catching up. Anyway, that was the main thing I wanted to talk about. I feel like decreased accuracy is probably the most underrated debuff in Hydra. I think people very often really sleep on it, which is quite tragic. And also to mention one cool thing here, it'd be even better if we had obviously the curse set from Krisk, but because Volcanen, that is, spreads debuffs with his A1, it can make it pretty consistent. As long as you get Hex up, he can actually start spreading like decreased speeds and stuff around, which is pretty cool, making them more consistent, which is nice. So again, like right here, normally my Volcanen, 0 chance of landing Hex on Head of Suffering. Not 0, but very, very low. But he's able to do it just fine thanks to the accuracy buffs. And there you go. He's just spread weaken around, which is pretty great. All right, great. I will be right back properly this time. Hopefully, probably. We'll see. All right, guys, we're coming to an end, almost an hour in, 300 boss turns. We didn't reach the turn limit, but we came close. And I will be straightforward and upfront and say that this is the high score for this team. It's actually never scored this much before. So that's great. I thought last time we did, I did it last week, 220 million. What I got, like 220, 230, around there. I thought that's as high as it would go. And we just hit 270. So yeah, really happy with that. I think I thought that 220 was the best that this could do. I think that this is pretty much like we got real close to the turn limit there. I think we had really good luck all the way up pretty much to the very end. So I do think this is pretty much the cap. Obviously with a bit better gear, maybe you could hit 300 million, maybe. But you're not going too much further than that, I don't think. But yeah, 270 million on Brutal. That's nice. 800 clash points right there. And we can see in terms of the damage, most of it is Volcanen with 133. That's just like his raw damage, which has been enabled by the team as we talked about. But also it's the Hex, of course. The Hex is doing tons. Shamail with 63 million. Gwyndolin not too bad on the damage. And as you saw, she's not really built for damage, right? She doesn't have any ignore defense built into her sets or Helm Smash or anything like that. We do have Helm Smash and Volcanen. Um, it's just all the turns and the War Master procs. It does add up, and it's actually quite decent. Again, you can see from the healing, everyone is doing healing. Like most of the healing is coming from the leeches that Gwyndolin is putting out. Ugo does put out leech. Gwyndolin is more consistent, and I cannot reiterate how impactful that decreased accuracy is when you've got resistance in your Great Hall in your area bonuses. Um, it makes a real big difference. So I'm definitely going to keep that result. Very happy with that one. That is pretty sick. Excellent. Cool. So yeah, again, this is not like the best team. That's absolutely possible. You know, the best team in the world, but it is a good one. So yeah, there you go. Like, let's see on Brutal comparing to other stuff. Like that's crazy. We did really similar to Boozilla this week. Boozor, again, another great CC. And like I'd say that, you know, probably this is the best showing from my team, and we managed to outperform. I think on most other days we would not, looking at these champs, but like it just shows you like you're able to compete pretty well with, like, he's like McLovin's got a very similar type team here, and it's done more overall. But yeah, pretty cool, pretty sick. Here we go. Right, let me show you the builds on these champions. Again, guys, if you want to see my current builds, and it's updated, I say, pretty regularly, I do link my optimizer in the description down below. So if you want to check that out, you can. One thing I'm excited for, I did finally get Sifi into 9 pieces of protection. That's going to be super fun for Hydra. Allies do 5% more damage for each buff placed by the wearer. That is insane. I would love to get her in with a Lady Mikage to extend her buffs, because Sifi doesn't have the best uptime. That could be super sick. But yeah, really happy to finally get her in. Again, some of the pieces are not great, you know, to get the 9Ps, but we've got her in a pretty decent build. Anyway, that's besides the point. Let's look at the actual team. Of course, Gwyndolin, we talked about with that provoke, and again, doing pretty good damage, even with 181% crit damage. She's doing okay. She's getting a nice extra chunk of crit damage from her passive. We had Volcanon, who's the main damage here. He is in Killstroke and Lethal. He's in actually pretty solid gear. Got 6,000 attack, 241 speed, 281% crit damage, and 223 accuracy. Again, for Brutal, it's not enough accuracy, but it is with Gwyndolin, and that's a really nice combo. He is also very squishy. Also, no blessings. I mean, even a 1-star blessing on these champs would help a lot with that extra HP these days. That would be nice, but hey, not this time. His masteries are like this. Then we had Krisk coming in. He has these masteries. He is still in triple perception. Again, the best set for Krisk is a cursed set, but it's quite difficult to build. I just don't have that at the moment, but ultimately we'll be getting him into cursed for sure. Like he's even overkill on his stats right here. Anyway, we've got Arbiter. She is in 4 different sets. She's trying to be fast. About as fast as I can go on my account is 375 speed. She actually probably does. That is enough accuracy for Brutal. So that's cool. But again, she's sort of empowered a bit by Gwyndolin. We've got Ugo with War Master, relentless, fast, standard enough stuff. Too much accuracy, really. We could, you know, we could drop the accuracy for these champs. Maybe I could. Could I get Krisk if I factored in? If I said I commit to this team, if I factored in her increased accuracy, maybe I could get him into. Yeah, there's something to look into. Anyway, and then finally Shamail. He is in Reflex and Killstroke, and he is coming in with 5,000 attack, 212 speed, 235% crit damage. So there's definitely room to grow that one. We'd be hoping to pull a big Shamail Soul at some point. Would be pretty nice, and that would help. So yeah, bam, that's the team. Oh, by the way, also to confirm with you guys, I showed off this an Arix team before. Now the Arix team I showed off before had much better gear than I do, but this is with like 4-piece Rathalos that I've been able to throw together from some initial forging of the Forge Pass. And Arix is soloing Heart Spider no problem. Like you can see, I've been running her. I've been running her with these guys. They start from like 2-star, 3-star. They're now in 4-star, and it hasn't failed once. So maybe there's a little bit of luck, but yeah, this Arix solo build, again, check out that video I did a few days ago. It's kind of a game changer. She's soloing Heart Spider in like a minute, and I think it's really good for being efficient at the moment, because I feel like I'm just energy starved these days. In raid, so that's been pretty great. But yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think of this team. I thought it was a fun little team. We've got great synergies, I think, going through it. Yeah, I'm loving the Yeah, I'm loving Gwyndolin. I think she is fantastic. And like I said, she can have use for Fire Knight Heart too. She could work in plenty of other teams, but she's been a great guaranteed champion. So was Valkanen, actually. Again, who I initially hated when I first looked at him. I grew to like him. But yeah, there you go. That's my team. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Goodbye.